Hello and welcome to Express News. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. In the next half an hour, we'll get you all the latest news and updates. Let's start with our top story. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today inaugurated Maritime India Summit 2021 through video conferencing. Minister of Transport of Denmark, Mr. Benny Engelbrecht, Chief Ministers of Gujarat and Andhra Pradesh, Union Ministers Dharmendra Pradhan and Mansukh Mandavia were present on the occasion. Speaking on the occasion, the Prime Minister invited the world to come to India and be a part of India's growth trajectory. India is very serious about growing in the maritime sector and emerging as a leading blue economy of the world through the focus areas of upgradation of infrastructure, boosting reform journey. India aims to strengthen the vision of Aatmanirbhar Bharat. PM noted that instead of a piecemeal approach, focuses on the entire sector as one. He informed that capacity of major ports have increased from 870 million tons in 2014 to 1,550 million tons now. PM also said our ports have reduced waiting time for inbound and outbound cargo. He also informed that mega ports with world-class infrastructure are being developed in Vadhavan, Paradeep and Deen Dayal Port in Kandla. The Prime Minister asserted that ours is a government that is investing in waterways in a way that was never seen before. Domestic waterways are found to be cost-effective and environment-friendly ways of transporting freight. PM said we aim to operationalize 23 waterways by 2030. He also pointed out that India has as many as 189 lighthouses across its vast coastline. The key objective of this initiative is to enhance development of the existing lighthouses and its surrounding areas into unique maritime tourism landmarks. PM Modi also announced that steps are also being taken to introduce urban water transport systems in key states and cities such as Kochi, Mumbai, Gujarat and Goa. Prime Minister said that the government has initiated holistic development of island infrastructure and ecosystem. He added that the government is keen to promote the use of renewable energy in the maritime sector. He said the government is in the process of installing solar and wind-based power systems at all the major ports across the country and aims to increase usage of renewable energy to more than 60% of total energy by 2030 in 3 phases across Indian ports. The Prime Minister concluded with exhortation to the global investors. India's long coastline awaits you. India's hardworking people await you. Invest in our ports. Invest in our people. Let India be your preferred trade destination. Let Indian ports be your port of call for trade and commerce. Prime Minister also released an e-book on Maritime India Vision 2030, invited stakeholders to become a part of India's growth trajectory. India's total active caseload stands at 1.68 lakh today as the country added 12,286 new cases in the last 24 hours. The country's present active caseload now consists of 1.51% of India's total positive cases. 80.33% of the new cases are from 5 states. Maharashtra continues to report the highest daily new cases at 6,397. 2 states, Maharashtra and Kerala, alone account for 67.84% of total active cases. Maharashtra is followed by Kerala with 1,938, while Punjab reported 633 new cases. The centre is continuously engaging with the states and UTs manifesting higher caseload of active cases and those reporting a rise in the daily new COVID cases. States and UTs have been advised to maintain a continued rigorous vigil for containing the spread of COVID-19, need for effective testing, comprehensive tracking, prompt isolation of positive cases and quick quarantine of close contacts are strongly emphasized. 8 states are displaying an upward trajectory in daily new cases. 5 states cumulatively account for 84.16% of total active cases in the country. Maharashtra alone accounts for 46.82% of India's total active cases, followed by Kerala with 28.61%. 6 states and UTs have a weekly positivity rate higher than the national average of 2.00%. Maharashtra leads all the states with a weekly positivity rate of 10.02%. A total of 1,48,54,136 vaccine doses have been administered as per the provisional report till 7 a.m. today. The second dose of COVID-19 vaccination started on 13 Feb 2021 for those beneficiaries who have completed 28 days after receipt of the first dose. More than 1.07 crore people have recovered so far. 12,464 patients have recovered and got discharged in the last 24 hours. India's recovery rate at 97.07% continues to be amongst the highest in the world. 86.5% of the new recovered cases are observed to be concentrated in 6 states. Maharashtra has reported the maximum number of single-day recoveries with 5,754 newly recovered cases. 3,475 people recovered in Kerala in the past 24 hours, followed by 482 in Tamil Nadu. 91 deaths were reported in the last 24 hours. 6 states account for 85.71% of the new deaths. Maharashtra saw the maximum casualties, 30. Punjab follows with 18 daily deaths. Kerala reported 13 deaths. 19 states and union territories have not reported any COVID-19 deaths in the last 24 hours. Union Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan got first jab of COVID-19 vaccine this morning. Dr. Harshvardhan along with his wife got inoculated with COVID-19 vaccines at Delhi Heart and Lung Institute. Union Minority Affairs Minister Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi also got inoculated with COVID-19 vaccine at Dalmia Hospital at Rampur, Uttar Pradesh. Union ministers are being vaccinated under the second phase of India's largest vaccination program. The Election Commission of India today convened a meeting of enforcement agencies dealing mainly with dubious transactions, seeking to develop a strategy to combat the pernicious effects of suspicious and illicit cash, liquor, psychotropic substances and freebies meant for inducements in upcoming assembly elections of Assam, West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Puducherry. Addressing the BJP State Executive Committee meeting in Rajasthan, the party's national president JP Nadda said that this was a matter of tremendous satisfaction that everywhere lotus is blooming and will bloom in future as well. He said that due to prevalence of Karo base, priority is to strengthen the party. BJP has launched an all-out attack on the Congress for its choice of alliances in the forthcoming elections. Lambasting the Congress, BJP spokesperson Samit Patra alleged that the Congress's alliances are governed by no other factor but greed for power and corruption. BSE Sensex ended 447.05 points or 0.90% higher at 50,296.89, while the broader NSE Nifty advanced 157.55 points or 1.07% to 14,919.10. Gold prices in India edged over in Tuesday's session. On MCX, gold April futures were trading rupees 208 or 0.46% down at rupees 45,100 per 10 gram. While silver futures were seen ruling at rupees 67,903 per kg, down rupees 897 or 1.03%. The rupee gains 18 paise to end at 73.37 against US dollar on Tuesday, supported by positive domestic equities amid improving risk appetite, registering a rise of 18 paise over its previous closing. Brent crude futures, the global oil benchmark, fell 0.05% to USD 63.66 per barrel. GST collections crossed the rupees 1 lakh crore mark for the 5th month in a row in February, rising 7% annually to over 1.13 lakh crore. The gross GST revenue collected February 2021 is rupees 1,13,143 crore, of which central GST is rupees 21,092 crore. State GST is rupees 27,273 crore. Former Niti Aayog Vice Chairman Arvind Pangaria on Tuesday says that India's economy is on an upswing and the government's plans for increased spending comes in the backdrop of pro-growth reforms. The Department of Telecommunications aims to raise at least 3.92 trillion rupees in the auction of 2,308.8 megahertz of spectrum. The auction continued till today. The three big telcos, Airtel, Vodafone, Idea and Reliance Jio, participated in the auction. Capital Markets regular SEBI will auction properties of Arise Bhumi developers and its directors on April 1 for a reserve price of ₹4.8 crore. US stock markets benchmark surged Monday with the S&P 500 booking its best day of gains since June. The S&P 500 climbed 90.67 points to finish at 3,901.82. The Nasdaq Composite added 396.48 points, closing at 13,588.83. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 603.14 points to end at 31,535.51. Over 11 crore 50 lakh from across the globe have tested positive for COVID-19 so far. More than 9 crore 7 lakh have recovered from the virus. 25 lakh 52,000 have died till now due to coronavirus. With over 2 crore 93 lakh cases, the United States continues to remain worst affected from COVID-19. The deadly virus has claimed more than 5 lakh 27,000 lives so far. Brazil follows the US to report the maximum number of deaths due to coronavirus. More than 2,55,000 people have died due to COVID-19. WHO Director General Tedros Adhanom said that for the first time in 7 weeks, the number of COVID-19 cases surged last week. He said the spike appears to be due to relaxing of public health measures. WHO DG described increase as disappointing but said it wasn't surprising. He urged countries not to relax measures to fight the disease. Tedros stated it was too early for countries to rely solely on vaccination programs. The Biden administration has on Monday downplayed prospect of sharing coronavirus vaccines with Mexico, saying it focuses on getting its population protected first. Biden predicts the US will have enough supply by late July to inoculate all Americans. Cinemas, museums and gyms in Mexico City reopen as the Latin American country begins to ease restrictions to curb spread of COVID-19. However, people have to adhere to strict social distancing measures. California governor and Democratic lawmakers reach a deal to fund reopening of schools for the state's youngest students as new COVID-19 cases drop to lowest this year. California governor expects transitional kindergarten to grade 2 to open by next month. Slovakia has received its initial batch of Russia's Sputnik V COVID-19 vaccine. The country will be buying 2 million more doses of the vaccine from Russia. Uruguay ramps up to immune its population against COVID-19, providing first jabs to its essential workers. Some 95 vaccination centers have been installed in hospitals and public areas. Former France President Nicolas Sarkozy has been sentenced to 3 years in prison for corruption and influence peddling. Sarkozy was found guilty of trying to illegally obtain information from a senior magistrate in 2014 about an ongoing investigation into his campaign finances. The US is focused on future conduct of Saudi Arabia and expects Riyadh to improve its human rights record. State Department spokesman Ned Price said the US has imposed sanctions on some Saudis for journalist Jamal Khashoggi's killing but fell short of sanctions against Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. The US has called on Hong Kong authorities to release those held and drop charges against them. The US said the recent detentions of pro-democracy activists in Hong Kong show how the national security law imposed by Beijing is being used to stifle dissent. The US on Monday warned Myanmar's military rulers of taking more action if the country's security forces continue to kill unarmed people, attack journalists and activists. US Ambassador to the United Nations Linda Thomas-Greenfield on Monday said she hopes to use Washington's presidency of the UN Security Council in March to push for more intense discussions on Myanmar. Gunmen have released all the girls kidnapped from a boarding school in northwest Nigeria. Governor of Zamfara State, Bello Matawale, said the girls will be taken to medical facilities to examine the status of their health. An armed gang abducted 279 girls on Friday. Mexico's President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador, on a call with US President Joe Biden, said it is important to maintain good relations between the neighboring nations. Lopez Obrador added that respect for sovereignty of both countries was key. The fencing that separated Black Lives Matter Plaza from the park outside the White House was removed on Monday as security barriers were put up during the Donald Trump administration and remained in place through President Joe Biden's inauguration and first month in office. New Zealand Foreign Affairs Minister Nanaia Mahuta spoke to External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Shankar on Monday. Both ministers discussed bilateral issues, shared vision of the Indo-Pacific and regional issues, rollout of COVID-19 vaccines and expectations about post-COVID recovery. European Council President Charles Michel on Monday met with leaders of Georgia's current government as well as members of the opposition and discussed a political crisis that has led to street protests and resignation of the Prime Minister last month. Nazi Gatban has spent the good part of his life handcrafting and making out instruments in a small village of Ras Baalbek in Lebanon's Bekaa Valley. The 66-year-old luthier has been creating out instruments since 1976 and keeps track of each of the 1,400 pieces he made so far. Ghabdan, a now retired philosophy teacher, is one of the few remaining traditional oud makers in Lebanon. Nigerian artist Nathaniel Hodonu cuts coconut shells and shaped them into leaf-shaped designs for his latest art project in Nigeria's mega city, Lagos. The 49-year-old later began sourcing coconut shells to make more art pieces at local coconut oil factories, discarding them as waste. His artwork includes portraits, sculptures, plus home and beauty accessories. A welcome surprise to zookeepers at New Orleans Audubon Zoo came when an endangered Sumatran orangutan was born on Sunday. The primate team expected the first-time mother, Rizzi, to deliver between April and May, but it happened quite early. The city of Copenhagen kicked off its light festival recently to bring some much-needed warmth and colour to the dark Danish capital and enjoy the winter months. This year, 2 historic buildings were lit up and several installations were put up around the city to celebrate the Copenhagen Light Festival. A Japanese dance company named Moonlight Mobile Theatre, based in the central Japanese city of Nagoya, is using an innovative style of performance to promote social distancing, where the audience sits in separated cubicles and watches an avant-garde production through mail slots and peepholes. The mail slots and peepholes engage the audience's curiosity and imagination, forcing them to focus on what is happening on the stage. The theatre company came up with the concept last year after it had to cancel most shows due to coronavirus. With a collection called Toxic, says Chick, which showcases his perfected knitted techniques, James Chiltner is among aspiring designers stepping into the limelight in an unusual edition of Paris's Fashion Week. The 10 days of high-end catwalk shows, usually held in the French capital, will be replaced by the online presentations and films, echoing a similar setup in New York, London and Milan. But as well as top brands ranging from Christian Dior and Vivienne Westwood to Dries Van Noten, 48 students on the cusp of graduating from Paris's Institut Français de la Mode will also got a moment in the sun for the first time with a film catwalk show which kicked off the extravaganza on Monday, billed as a tribute to the young COVID generation disrupted by the pandemic. In Kenya, Kenyan environmental group Rhino Arc Trust has found a new way to control lurking elephants. The trust has put up electric fences around 2 key areas to stop wandering elephants, illegal logging and protect sources of water. The fences help protect wildlife from hunting and trees from being chopped down. A French company has gone back to the basics of maritime transport with the use of a sailboat to ship cargo to and from France and the Americans in a bid to make the movement of goods by sea between the 2 sides of the Atlantic carbon neutral. Chocolate and coffee manufacturer Grande Sail put the sailboat in service for a first inter-Atlantic trip to deliver and import goods from and to its home region of Britain. The sailboat started its maiden voyage in November and docked in New York City in December to deliver 15,000 bottles of organic French wine. It then set off to the Dominican Republic, where staff collected 33 tons of cacao beans before heading back to France. The explosive growth of Clubhouse, an audio-based social network buoyed by appearances from tech celebrities like Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg, has drawn scrutiny. Clubhouse, an audio-based social network, records conversations and provides space for speakers and audience. In October 2020, Miami-based art collector Pablo Rodriguez's trial spent almost $67,000 on a 10-second video artwork that he could have watched for free online. Last week, he sold it for $6.6 million. The video by digital artist Beeple is a new type of digital asset known as a non-fungible token that has exploded in popularity during the pandemic. The street artist Banksy may have been at work again in the UK. A new painting appeared on the side of a former prison in Reading overnight on Sunday. It shows a prisoner escaping down the side of a wall on a rope made of bedsheets tied to a typewriter. One of the prison's most famous inmates was the poet and playwright Oscar Wilde. Britain's Queen Elizabeth held an informal video call with government officials in South Australia after the unveiling of a statue of her at Government House in the state capital of Adelaide. During the exchange, recorded a week ago and released on Monday, she laughed and joked throughout as the Queen reacted in astonishment. Sports now. World champion Mary Kom, along with Asian Games gold medalist Amit Panghal, secures a place in the quarterfinals of the Boxum International Tournament. Mumbai City FC beat ATK Mohun Bagan by 2-0 in the final league encounter of the Indian Super League to book a place in the coveted AFC Champions League next season. The Indian cricket team's head coach Ravi Shastri received the first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine at a city hospital. Shastri thanked the hospital staff for their cooperation and support. The England and Wales Cricket Board have appointed their former captain Marcus Trescothick as the team's lead batting coach along with John Lewis. Sania Mirza reached the doubles quarterfinals of the Qatar Total Open with Slovenian partner Andreja Klepak. Second seed PV Sindhu will look to strike form as she takes guard at the Swiss Open Badminton World Federation Super 300 tournament, which begins in Basel today. PV Sindhu may face former champion Saina Nehwal in the semis of Swiss Open Badminton World Federation. Britain's Andy Murray kickstarts a journey with a win at the Rotterdam Open. Murray defeated Robin Haas of the Netherlands by 2-6, 7-6, 6-3 in the first round. Roger Federer will not compete at this month's Miami Open as the Swiss maestro continues to work his way back to fitness after 2 knee operations in the past 12 months. Tottenham Hotspur's Europa League round of 16 first and second leg matches against Croatian side Dinamo Zagreb have been reversed due to a clash with North London rivals Arsenal. In Spanish La Liga, the match played between Real Madrid and Real Sociedad resulted in 1-1 draw. In Premier League, Everton beat Southampton 1-0 to go within 2 points of fourth place West Ham. Former Barcelona president Josep Maria Bartomeu was arrested after Catalan police officers searched the La Liga club's offices. In Siberia, 83 runners from 6 countries take part in sub-zero temperatures bike ice marathon. Former Liverpool and Scotland forward Ian St John has died at the age of 82 after a long illness. A 33-year-old mother of 2 was crowned Miss Germany on Saturday in a revamped contest. Dressed in a black trouser suit, Anja Kallenbach, already Miss Thuringia, prevailed against candidates from the 15 other German states in the final of the Empowering Authentic Women contest. The pageant focused on a woman's conviction and personality rather than her looks. This is the classic swimsuit walk. The Miss Germany organizers said that the women aged between 18 and 39 needed to show that they have a clear goal in mind and are committed to a better tomorrow. The 71st Berlin International Film Festival officially kicked off on Monday. The Berlin Film Festival for the first time will be held online due to the outbreak of the coronavirus pandemic. Films will be shown to judges and the media, which is also the first to be streamed online due to restrictions, and winners will be announced later. The prize awarding ceremony will be held in June. Maria Schrader's romantic comedy I'm Your Man was the first, which opened this year's online Berlin Film Festival on Monday, an exploration of the free will, compromise and friction that true love needs. The film cast German stage star Maren Eggert with Downton Abbey star Dan Stevens. Light-hearted and relentlessly entertaining, the film inadvertently exposed the limitations of this year's pandemic-compliant online-only format, lines which in other years would have likely have had audiences of critics and filmmakers rolling in the aisles of the festival's packed cinemas were lucky to win a mild chuckle from viewers watching the film streamed into their living room. Golden Globes co-host Tina Fey put on her best Margaret Thatcher's impression for a sketch during the award show. The segment was part of a larger sketch involving comedians taking their symptoms inspired by television shows to medical professionals. Fey's sketch was a nod to Gillian Anderson's performance in The Crown. Australian music promotion legend Michael Gudinski has died suddenly at the age of 68. Tributes began pouring in on social media on Tuesday morning for the Mushroom Records and Frontier Touring co-founder, who died in Melbourne on Monday night. Gudinski is survived by his wife Sue and children Kate and Matt. Gal Gadot announced on Monday she and her husband Jaren Barsano are expecting their third child. Sharing the news on social media, the Wonder Woman star 35 shared a photo of the family and Barsano's hand on her stomach with the caption, "Here we go again." Dolce & Gabbana mixed models with robots and disco-like atmosphere as the curtain came down on Milan Fashion Week on Monday. Bright colors, leopard prints and glittering gold and silver coats and blouses featured in Dolce & Gabbana's show. Models paired with two small robots created by the Italian Institute of Technology to celebrate the work of Italian researchers in robotic technologies and artificial intelligence. The show brought to an end 6 days of digital shows due to COVID-19 restrictions, which were tightened further by the Rome government over the weekend due to a resurgence in the number of infections. Well, that's all we have in Express News. Stay tuned for more news and updates.